Hello Foresters, I'm going to quickly show you 20 tips for Sons of the Forest. If this video helps you, please like it and don't subscribe to me. Alright, some of these are going to be simple and some of them are going to be a little advanced, so we're just going to start right off the bat with the map. Alright, so one thing I noticed, if you look down as you're looking at the map, you kind of get a closer view out of it. Alright, and also to zoom in, you just press the middle mouse button. Alright, that lets you zoom in. One thing I also noticed about the map is when you're running, you can't really see it because it's moving so much. But if you actually just hold any item, the map will stay still and you'll still be running. So I like that much better. Another thing I want to talk about is your backpack. So many people don't know actually that if you just press it's I, I've changed it to tab, but if you press I, it will go into your regular inventory, but if you hold it, it brings up the backpack and lets you quick select things that you put on your backpack. So if you go ahead and click on your backpack right here, you can manipulate what is on there. Right click to remove and then add items. So let's say I want to add a different axe. And just go ahead and click add. Now you can only equip 2 weapons. Couple healing items. There's like 2 of everything basically, some food items. All right. Another thing I want to talk about is while I'm here is to make sure you scroll all the way to the sides because you never know what you might be missing, right? You never know what might be here that you don't know if you have or not. All right, so really scroll up and check out everything you got. Alright, another thing I want to talk about is don't forget to build yourself a bench or a chair to sit in because that restores your energy. Okay, there's lots of different benches and chairs you can build. I'll just show you right here in furniture. Okay, click furniture again. And there's all sorts of things. I'd build a bench or a table. No, maybe you can sit on tables. You never know. While I also got the book on here, I was actually clicking on each one of these icons to look at things. I didn't know that if you click furniture or you click other things, there's multiple pages for each category. All right, so there was a lot of things here that I didn't even know you can build or existed. It's also the same for the other page. You can click here and it'll show you many different pages of stuff. All right, so let's talk about Kelvin real quick. One thing that you want him to do right away is you want him to get you some fish. Okay, this by far the most useful thing he does is get you fish. So you tell him to get it and drop it here. Build yourself a few drying racks, and you can have unlimited food forever because he will get you a fish like every minute or 30 seconds. All right. One other thing I want to talk about in fish. Is this one raw? All right, 1 second. I'm just going to quickly look. Yeah, this is a raw fish. So you can eat raw fish with I don't think there's any downside. Like I'm eating it right now. It restores a hell of a lot of food and there's no downside. It doesn't hurt you. Nothing happens. So you don't need to cook fish or hang them or anything. Though I think they last longer and they don't rot away as much if you dry them. Another thing that I really liked is the storage system that they got now. So I'm going to go talk to Kelvin again. All right, so what you can get him to do is say get sticks and put them in a fill holder. So that icon won't be there until you build the holder for him, okay? So make sure you go into the build menu. Go to X. Where is it? Storage, right? Storage. And there's your stick storage, rock storage, log, bone, and the drying rack. Okay, and then the shelf, which is also very useful. All right, so we can get him to fill up each one of these sections instead of just laying it around everywhere. And while I am talking about the shelf, make sure you build a shelf because this lets you store items. Because eventually, as you're exploring, you're going to run out of space in your backpack and you won't be able to grab certain items that are very useful, like batteries. So every time I'm back in my base, I throw my batteries on here and throw on some more shelves. I'm actually going to build another shelf very soon and have sections of shelves just for one item. and they're very useful. And I like this as a system of storing items rather than chests or you know, like things like that. And you can actually deposit them right in there. So I can just press C and throw more in there without having to open up my inventory. Beautiful. Love it. All right, I want to go talk about Calvin again. I almost call him Kevin all the time. All right. So one thing I want to show you is giving him stuff. Take item. So you go take item, and later in the game, you will see you'll get like clothing items. All right, so you can give him things like a hoodie or the suit, the tuxedo. As soon as I got the tuxedo, he is now my tuxedo man. So I just thought it was interesting to change his clothes. I know it's technically not a tip, but I feel like you should know that. Another tip I want to talk about is the birdhouses. You're going to need a lot of feathers to make arrows. So you should build these birdhouses right away because it lets you collect feathers really easily. And then when you get yourself a bow, you can shoot the birds that land on your birdhouses. They land there very often. And if you build it against this, there you go, there's 4 more feathers there. And you can grab your arrow again. And if you build it against a wall like I did here, you won't lose your arrows if you happen to miss. All right? Pretty much unlimited feathers. I'll quickly show you where the birdhouse is. Is it in gardening? Yeah, it's in gardening. So click on gardening. Or is it in utility? Is this utility? Yeah, utility. So you click on utility, go to the second page, and there's your birdhouse. All right, another thing I want to talk about is as you wander around and you find items in buckets or chests or anything that you can need, and you need a lot of, you're going to find these chests, and not chests, like kind of just crates and buckets of stuff. And if you actually save the game by building yourself a tent, anybody can make a tent really quickly. You just get yourself a tarp, you throw 1 stick in there, and then you save. And then you reload the game. So just exit, quit, reload, and it respawns all the items again, which I thought was... You know, I think it's a glitch. I thought that probably, if you're watching this video months from now, it probably doesn't work anymore. But if it does, it's really handy. All right, I'm also going to talk about another glitch about running. So there is a running glitch. So I'm going to run right now and lose some of my stamina. So as I'm running, you see my stamina going down. Now what you got to do is you run sideways. So press A and D at the same time. Then press B to open your book. And see, I'm still moving. I bumped into a rock there. Keep in mind, when you open the book, it's like you're on a sled and you'll slide around. But we'll see. I'm going to press A and D, and then press B at the same time to open up my book, and then my stamina's back. So watch, I'm going to run again. Gotta use up more stamina. There's too much stuff around here for me to bump into. So A and D, B, stamina back, and I'm still moving. All right. This is really useful when your stamina is all the way to the bottom. And you're just trying to walk and get places faster. It's a little kind of stamina glitch, I should say. All right, so I want to talk about the mutant girl right here. She is extremely useful. After a couple days of you being nice to her, she will eventually sit by your fire and befriend you. Having a fire is kind of a double-edged sword because they attract cannibals, but they also attract her, and she likes warmth. And when she becomes your friend, she's very useful. Another way to attract her and make sure you don't scare her away. When you approach her, don't be holding any weapons. Don't be wearing a mask or anything like that that will scare her away. So after a while, you'll be able to talk to her and give her things. What I like to do is give her a pistol. Because now she has unlimited ammo with that pistol. Okay, so if you have low ammo, you might as well give it to her, and she will help defend your base. Yep, thumbs up. Another thing I want to talk about with cannibals is that the cannibals are less likely to attack you if you don't attack them. There's certain cannibals that are going to attack you no matter what, but like the villagers, mainly the ones that stand up, are not going to attack you as often if you don't attack them. So if you want to try be friendly in the beginning, just leave them alone, try to avoid them, and you should be okay. All right, I'm going to explain to you what happens if you die. All right, if you die once, you actually don't die, you get captured. and they take you to a camp, and you can get your items back in the camp. You can actually grab your items really quick. It'll just be a bag on the ground, and you'll be able to run away. But if you die a second time, it's game over, and you got to reload your last save. So I just thought you should know what happens when you die, so you can know whether you can be careful or not. You actually don't have to be super careful. All right, one other thing I'm going to talk to you about is how to cut down a tree properly. I see a lot of people complaining that the trees are hitting their bases and destroying things, which is, I think it should be that way because you want it to be realistic. But what you want to do is you always want to start cutting the tree in the direction you don't want it to go. All right, so I don't want to hit my base right here. So I'm going to cut this tree, get it nice and cut down on that direction. All right, and then I'm going to do the last couple cuts from the opposite direction. And that's the way the tree will fall. The tree will always fall the direction that you placed your last hit. Okay? All right, the last couple things I want to talk about are turning off building destruction. Okay, so we're going to go into the inventory. Not inventory, sorry, the options. And we're going to go to gameplay. And right here, structural damage. If you turn that off, you won't have to worry about the last tip I gave you about where to chop your trees. You can chop your trees right into your base. And also there's a big head mode, just so you know, it's kind of hilarious. All right, so I quite like big head mode. If you want to turn it on, go ahead. That's where it is right there. Oh, it even works for the animals. Now that's funny. I did not know that. One more quick tip I'm going to give you is about your base and where you should put it. Really, it's kind of tough right now because there's no way to make a door for your walls because it's glitched. But what I did here is I built a lookout tower, and then when you get the rope gun, the zip line, you can actually use it to go up the zip line. So you press E and you can go up and into your base. So there is kind of still a way to get up there. And I believe you can bring logs up there still by just pressing E, and then the logs will go up, and then they'll be in your base. Okay, you just got to make kind of a bigger gap. But yeah, like that's just a nice little thing to kind of a workaround for the fact that you still can't build wall doors for your walls yet. Another thing I'm going to talk about that might be a glitch, but might not be, is the building on water. The winter is going to happen eventually, usually within the 10 or 15 day mark, and you can build on the ice. And once you build on the ice here, because I'm making a rope bridge across this water, once you build on the ice, it actually puts a log on here for you. So I thought that was kind of interesting, got me thinking, because I didn't place this log. This log appeared when it stopped being wintertime. All right, so that's kind of weird. So you can technically build a house in the water this way that's isolated. And, you know, maybe in the comments, if you try this out, you can kind of tell me you could build a house that nobody can get to, like a perfectly safe house that you can never get attacked at. Another thing I'm going to tell you quickly before I get out of here, by the way, look at the fish that is gathered up. See, this is why if you get them to get your fish, you can't go hungry in this game. So one other thing I want to say is that you can get a canteen pretty quickly, and you can get a mask that will help scare away cannibals. It's on one of the green dots. It's the one that is, which one is it? It's that one this direction here by that purple icon. All right, if you go that direction, the one that's kind of in the middle of my phone, there will be a cave, and inside the cave, don't worry, there isn't any baddies. There's a 3D printer in there, and you'll be able to print out as many arrows as you like, and a mask that will help protect you, and a few other goodies. All right, those are all the tips and tricks I'm going to give you today. If this video helped you, please give it a big fat like so I outrank all those other YouTubers with 20-minute videos that talk about nothing. Don't